Hello everyone, welcome back to the CFS SEA Masters Spring 2026, and we're still the people here on the panel, Mochi and Salvatore at your service, and we would like to just inform everyone that this is going to be a rosy matchup, so it is important for us to make it a bit more inclusive, if you catch my drift, and just speak in English for the rest of the specific match itself. So Salvatore, we got veteran and Ridaz, any insights, especially after the 3 weeks that we had?
Mochi, we got the Indonesian El Clasico. We had the Pacific SGJ era, the Stallions VP, and now, of course, to settle things into our week number 4, of course, we had a bit of a civil war inside of Sea Masters. Of course, we have to let Veteran and Ridaz show who's the best Rosea team to qualify for Sea Masters. And so far, we've seen more impressive results from Veteran despite the losing effort compared to Ridaz, just because of, just the better qualifications here for Veteran. They had the better outcome, they had a better performance, and I just feel like they just have more aggression compared to Ridaz. Collectively, Ridaz is a solid team, but if you kind of look at it in the perspective of Veteran, individuality really sticks that despite it being a systemic game, Veteran really stands out as a team that likes to rely on one singular player to pop off in order to get a round. So that's what Ridaz is lacking from the first 3 weeks of regulation here in Sea Master. So yeah, Mochi, it's kind of like a balanced matchup between the two, considering they're both from Rosea, but looking at it in a different perspective, I feel like Veteran has a much more X factor compared to Ridaz.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And based from our qualifiers during our SEA qualifiers for this Master Spring, well, we already saw how Veterans been able to actually win and kind of a close one against Ridaz, actually, and how they've been able to do always sub-base, being present with their map vetoes as well. But we also want to pick part every single member here one by one, because when it comes to our performance here, the experience definitely shows, especially for EV9 Shocking as well as Jones, and recently we've been able to see some performances here from Reknart as well. That's pretty great. And while Twintissen has just been recently integrated here in this team, he's been doing great so far as well.
Hopefully time will be really good for Veteran, considering that they do have this high ceiling despite them being already experienced in the Indonesian CROSSFIRE scene. But I really do hope they do catch up with one of our Filipino teams that really rely on aggression and try to take early fights, because Veteran is somehow behind everyone here inside of Sea Masters. We're not already sugarcoating it. We're just saying what is stated and what is being factual here inside of Sea Masters. Yeah, Veteran really does have that kind of ceiling where Shock and EV9 could live up to what essentially is the Indonesian dream, is to be able to compete at the best level, just them being able to compete in like what, SEA Games, some of those Southeast Asian tournaments. Yes, they do stand out, but in order to be the best of the best, they have to level up against the Filipino teams and eventually our Indonesian international teams rather. So yeah, this is not a very good graphic, I may say so myself, Mochi, but any sort of fight here from Veteran moving forward is indeed a learning experience that you do not go any easy here inside of Sea Masters.
Yeah, and let's add in the fact that SCS and VP are both waiting for them, and they have I don't know
Oof.
if we can even call this a breather, but we have Alliance Gaming as their last match for the whole schedule. But from Reknard, what they really want to face up against Riders, because they come from the same region as us and they are a very strong team. And we will do our best in order to secure a victory, as they've done before, I believe.
Yeah, Reknart showcasing the Indonesian hospitality. One of the few times we get to interview Veteran, they really brought out, what was good, like best attitude in order for them to have this stability entering into the series. And it's still kind of the same, despite already Veteran having a huge number up against Riders. So yeah, I feel like they are regular scrim partners just from facing just from basing on the statement
Yes.
alone. Yeah, so definitely huge amounts of confidence from Reknart, and as well as good luck to our friends there at Veteran. They will be more than prepared to fight up against Ridaz, who is essentially someone that could really dish out the upset here for Veteran. And hopefully Ridaz do live up to the hype that they have. because the story is better than Ridaz. But what if, Mochi? Just what if after this series we'll be raising the hands of Ridaz as the victors of this series? I would love that headline.
And what's also pretty fun here as well is they already learned a lot from the last 3 weeks that we already had. They might have already been able to take some pointers that they can definitely adapt to the plays that they will have depending on the map that they will also choose for this matchup as well. So I'm pretty excited if there will be some pacing changes, set plays that they would like to integrate, and that would be more of something that we are going to wait for. But let us now introduce our team members here from Ridaz, wherein there are some moments where when the likes of Wong Feng, Jung, Kodak, actually every single one of them has been able to show that individually they're quite of a team, but at the same time, in terms of how they were still yet to adapt with the playstyle of the Filipinos, well, they're still in the process of that. But now that they are quite in a home court type of battle, well, this will be pretty interesting.
I'm kind of really reeling on SecDet as one of the key players that, despite being the IGL, still putting in the work on the headshot per kill, 0.51.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely impressive numbers here for SecDet. But I'm looking at it on a grander scheme of things, Mochi. This is a match where two teams have nothing to lose. They would want the best crossfire possible. I'm gonna possibly see one of the craziest loadouts. Five chainsaws. Five Vepers. I would want to see that. But apparently, Riders will be subbing in one of their primary headshot machines as 21
Mm-hmm.
Rai will be out and Jung will be entering into the fray. So that's one key factor that could derail the confidence here of Riders, that could lead Veteran into their W. But I have high hopes
Wow.
here for Veteran. I do definitely have, that feeling that despite them being the underdogs of this specific matchup, there will be so much madness for Riders that they might just take the W, don't you think, Mochi?
Yup, and when we talk about the individual mechanical prowess that we have here for veteran, it seems like they have a bit more of an advantage in terms of that sector, and we are yet to see if Riders would be able to prove us otherwise. But pretty similar to what we have here for veteran in terms of their schedule and their history, they are yet to find a single W, and we do hope that we can see that either of them finally secure that end this very matchup. But at the same time, they are yet to see the likes of JY, MJ, and Execution right after facing up against veterans. So their story, their training arc is not just finished as of yet, similar to their brothers.
Yeah, this is just a start here for our Rosea teams. We'll be meeting them throughout the course of 2026. We'll be seeing them more in Impact Summer and in regionals as well. So I do hope that with that period, Mochi, Raida's veteran and some other Rosea teams will be able to catch up, train really hard, and eventually get that spot that will surpass the likes of Kiridas and as well as Fervid. So yeah, a lot of tons of pressure here for Riders to be able to come up with one of the best strategies that this team will have in order to make sure that they will secure the W for this series. So one of the quotes here from Banks is here, and I quote, "Among the teams we'll face this week, I'm looking forward to play against Team Veteran and JY the most. Even though the chances of winning are slim, those matches will be a real test for us." Huge respects and W here for Banks
Yeah.
because he is one of the players that really brings out the best in some of the teams that they do face, because he's one of the standouts when it comes to headshots and multi kills.
Mm-hmm.
But the respect is still there because Veteran, they do have their number, and JY is still a team that needs to be gone respect, especially with Raidas on the line.
I agree, and it's nice that they've been able to actually acknowledge JY as well, right? It seems like they are looking into the growth that they can have alongside with other teams who's their first time appearance here in our league as well, which is great. But again, this is definitely gonna be a single war here for Rosie, and really excited what will be our map video in a bit as well. But I do think that we already have our predictions all prepared here, so let us show them out and let us see which one
Whoa!
it is going to ones for us. Alongside with bipolar and in favor for veteran, well, Salvatore and Sneaky Frog will be hovering more into that 2-0 sweep here in favor for veteran.
Well, the last time that we saw a map taken here for veteran was definitely on Rosea qualifiers. So that probably might be the reason here for our friends Mochi and Bipolar taking at least one map
Mm-hmm.
here from the side of Ridaz. But I'm feeling confident. Probably the same here for Sneaky, that veteran will be finishing this in tip-top shape because they do have one of the most flexible maps in the whole Rosea region. So entering into the
Yes.
series, I'm feeling the most confidence for the side of veteran. So I will not be surprised here if Riders will be able to take that one singular map. And I do hope that we will be branching out not just from port and sub base, but probably a potential outlier in the map, Piro. Don't you think, Mochi?
Yep, and it will also be interesting if they can just break all our predictions altogether. So let's check out what will be our map veto for this one. Would they ban subbase? Would they choose it? Would they prefer other maps instead? Well, look at that. It seems like we're gonna have Port, Eagle Eye, and subbase as our decider, which for me, very interesting. Port has been like on a better map here for Riders, don't you think?
Seeing the potential here for Riders to be able to compete at a high level inside of Eagle Eye, but not so much on port. If you do remember, Bochi, the Rosea Grand Finals qualifiers was definitely favored for Veteran inside of port where they were able to take it 10-3. So Veteran had the most, power heading into that matchup, especially from the ones that delivered the top fragging. Korak wasn't able to get that ball rolling. So players inside of veteran, mainly probably Wong Feng will be targeted here for Riders to probably shut down the whole system of that team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Eagle Eye is something that really surprised me because veteran sub
Actually,
base is
yeah.
open on the first phase. So yeah, but
Yes.
despite that, GR, good presence of mind here for Riders to be able to take that strong side. So yeah, more on like taking advantage of the side rather than getting those map picks as their priority. So I feel like Veteran and Riders is in a good place right now in terms of balance.
I see. And really looking forward if we will be reaching that decider as well, because that will surely be still in favor
Mm-hmm.
here for veteran too, right? So I wonder what will be the call here, because we are going to be mostly depending on Graida's performance here during our first map. And I really do hope that they can prove us wrong. But here for veteran, they've already done it before. All they need to do is to do the same thing again with some additional knickknacks from here and there, especially it is going to be Riders that they'll be facing up against after all.
Yeah. Hopefully, we will be able to witness what is going to be the peak of our Rosea teams, Riders and Veteran. In behalf of me and my partner, good luck, Veteran and Riders. This is going to be really epic.
And that is why we have to hand it over to our casters right now, Bipolar and Sneaky Frog. Take it away.
An epic showdown will immense here on our third match of the day. It's better than STS and VP. That I will tell you, and that is a fact. It's Riders versus Veteran right now. Sneaky Frog as well as Bipolar on Caster Desk. Sneaky, what is up, man? It's been one hell of a show today. We have 4 matches now. It's both of our Rosea teams.
Yeah, it's been kind of the matchup that we've been looking forward to for the past 4 weeks. If you are the fan of any of the Indonesian teams here, finally a clash in between Veteran and Riders. Obviously, we already saw this in the qualifier of Rosea. I mean, if they didn't play the qualifier, they wouldn't be playing here in the first place, right? But
Yeah.
the maps that they did play in the qualifier was sub-base and port. So obviously sub-base a bit absent here. Maybe Riders learning that maybe it's not a good idea to mess with veteran, especially when it comes to a map that they kind of played a lot for the past few years. But
Yeah.
of course, this means that one of these two teams will finally net a win in the group stage as well. And I feel like none of these teams want to be the guy that goes 0-9.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, right? We're gonna be seeing a Rosea team finally with a win in the leaderboards or in the standings, and whoever wins here will be instantaneously set in stone that they are the better Rosea team for 2026. But yeah, you're absolutely right as well. Sub base being a problem with them having it in the decider, though I would want to see it, and I would like to see a full series. That's why me and Moshe, I think, went for that, comfortable 2-1 win for a veteran. But Riders, definitely so, they have the potential, but with veteran having this kind of status wherein they have immensely improved over time, they had more adaptation towards the teams of the Filipinos, that they might have something in their backs. But port, being a map for riders, I would like to know what your thoughts is on about this, because I feel like the sides will really matter for both of these teams, especially that port is picked up by riders.
Yeah, and especially knowing that Riders is going to have to operate on the BL side first, so obviously they're going to have a bit of difficulty, right? I'm not so sure
Yeah.
what the meta is for ID, for maybe middle, or maybe how are they going to take the CA side. But I did notice, though, especially on the side of Veteran, that they're picking up stuff fast from us, especially,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we already saw the tighter spacing from the side of Veteran. They're being a lot more brave when it comes to the opening fights. It really is a kind of a learning process that you are seeing in real time. But meanwhile, for the side of Riders, we kind of saw a lot more puggy-ish kind of play style. You know, they're just kind of swinging for the hill from time to time, and I really would like to see from Riders, especially them kind of trying to replicate the Veteran spacing where they're just very close together and peeking angles as three players instead of one. So I think it's going to be relying a lot on who is going to be moving on this first map a lot more efficiently, because for the side of Veteran, as long as their sniper performs, it's fine that they can kind of drop a few rounds in the first half, but I would recommend them at least to go 7-2 here if you're on the side of Veteran.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that, Sneaky. That this Riders team has really been, you know, laid back towards what Veteran has improved along the way. With what you said about the spacing, with how they hold the side, especially on the GR side, it went well. Especially if you remember their Eagle Eye map, wherein they really know how to play the GR side. Plus, we're gonna be having Eagle Eye on the map number 2. But does it rely on port? Possibly yes. But Riders does have a formidable kind of BL side, just because it provides a lot more opportunities to have that Indonesian meta, to have that Indonesian mindset, to go for puggy plays, go for aggressive angles, go for pushes that are very much overwhelming for the side of Veteran, because we haven't seen like a full man 1-4 situation for the GR side here for Veteran, wherein they will just gamble aside to just have one player. So there might be really a fruitful BL side here for Riders, especially on port, but I really doubt it. I do believe that
Yeah.
that 2-0 is still in contact to our 2-1 prediction with me and Mochi. So it's gonna be tough nonetheless. But how about you? I think you would also want to see these two teams battle in subbase for their third.
Yeah, Subbase would be definitely exciting, right? We kind of circled back to the qualifier here for
Yeah.
Rosea, and this is one of the two maps that Riders obviously lost in that qualifier. And I have a gut feeling that Veteran is prioritizing their Eagle Eye more, just so you can have that little bit more of a, what do you say this, a buffer
Yeah.
for your sub base, right? If sub base is your main plan, then Eagle Eye is kind of your plan before the plan happening in this one. So I feel like with all the preparation that Veterans already made on Eagle Eye, especially with the amount of games that they spammed on Eagle Eye, the amount of times that they got beat on this map, maybe they have learned a thing or two, especially when it comes to being more aggressive on the long side, being more aggressive on the hotel side in its entirety. So I think there's still a lot in the air for the side of Veteran, but they still have to go through port at the end of the day. But I am looking forward to what kind of guns that we're gonna see in this one. I feel like the side of Veteran and Riders has enjoyed more than the 2 or 3 meta weapons that we usually like to pick up, which is the EPR and the HK and the TRG. We've seen appearances from the Scarlight, the Vepr. What else did we see? We saw the chainsaw pulled down here by Wong Fang. So I feel like maybe there's another meta that Riders could be presenting and maybe could catch this Veteran squad off guard.
Yeah, I mean, we could also include M4s and even AKs in that mix-up, right, of guns that can be used. But I guess without fires in a Veteran for the majority of our recent matches, there's not going to be an AK in these two teams. So yeah, the chainsaws will be very prevalent, especially for Wong Fang, especially when we go in towards the map of Eagle Eye. But yeah, we'll go into the players now. For Riders, I would like to give a lot of like big credibility towards Bang S and towards Wong Fang, because these two players, they don't play bad, they play well actually, especially for Bang S, just because he has that aim potential that can really turn games around, wherein you're in a 1v3, you're in a 4v3, and then he can suddenly whip out something out of the blue. With Wong Feng always just holding out a specific angle with the chainsaw, it can also do something pretty well. But for Veteran, if you're talking about improvements, there's also individual improvements as well. Shock has been in the low light from the first and second week, I believe I, I I quite remember. At least correct me if I'm wrong. He was below zero point 0.5 in terms of KD, but he has reached the top of the peak now for veteran. He has almost gotten more than 1.0. So you can also see that kind of improvement for these players, even for Reknard. But I would like to highlight even more Twintism. I can see like a Filipino sniper in this guy because he's not afraid to fight all throughout up against teams like here in the Filipino region, wherein you have aggressive snipers. You have snipers that are really laid back, but Twintism knows how to play both. So that's a little bit of an upside for veteran, I believe, coming into these three maps. So yeah, a lot to really showcase for these two teams.
For sure. And you can kind of feel the confidence now mounting here for Twintism, especially, right? I mean, his role is going to be very, very important, especially when it comes to map number 1. And I was actually thinking if Ridaz would be willing to just pressure top A again and again, maybe up until a secondary player is going to be forced to play more up close or more with the sniper this time. So I think that is definitely up in the air for the side of Ridaz. If they can get an immediate pick off on top A, then it would be a lot easier for the other BL players to push in, of course. But it is a matter of pressure for all sides of the map. And veteran, of course, I think with the amount of confidence that they have and the confidence that they got from the Rosea qualifier, knowing that they 2-0 this team, I wouldn't be surprised if veteran is going to start to push the long A side, maybe even LB, to try and just kind of stump Ridaz while the game is still running early.
Yeah, I guess there's a plan for veteran now that surprise is a main factor coming into this matchup, because Ridaz will definitely be scattered all throughout the map. They don't have those specific set plays that you are going to be going passive. So veteran can have that kind of situation wherein you can definitely just go in straight on forward despite you having, despite you being on the BL or the GR side. So veteran does have some upsides, honestly. So I would like, it's gonna be difficult though, because just like how you highlighted Twintism, when Ridaz does go for those fast approaches towards long A, especially if Twintism just holds out not mid but top A, they can instantly crack this glass cannon of a player. Where in Twintism, yes, he can hit shots, but how consistent can that be up against a team that is very forward, that is very, facade made, wherein they will just keep on pushing. But nonetheless, it looks like we're going into the game. We're having
Tatanungin niya,
the
ganyan,
first
Angie.
map, and of course, here comes the clocks.
Ito nga kelihatan. Mga kelihatan.
Yeah, we're gonna act like we understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kan kata gue.
You are so right, Shock.
Aneh, anjir.
Oh wow, that's good information, right?
That's crazy. There we go. Veteran on the GR side, Ridaz on the BL, and Ridaz has already lost a player, but Bang S has already lost HP, so you're gonna need to get back into the server and make it a 4 versus 5 officially. But Ridaz will be rocking 4 to start things off in this one, and seems like veteran, no intention to go forward.
Here comes Force coming for EV from the C. Does find one flip as well as Jump, but they are now pushing as 3. Drones actually there for the second cover. They kill off EV9, but they have cleared off Z. Look at Kodak here on mid. Win while Reknard and Drones does kill off players here. Coming out of the court, coming in was Swampy. Nades flying by, but it's a trade-off with Kodak getting the shot into Reknard. It's a 1v3. C4 in the hands of veteran. Twintism actually still holding towards BR, but this is still peculiar sneaky. Kodak has garnered a kill. Can he garner 4 more?
Yeah. And with Sekdet being a bit late to the party in this server, my friend, it's gonna be only him left alive in this situation. C4 has been dropped in LB. Kodak with a TRG in his hand. But Twintism spotted, shot not hitting. Second chance here for Kodak. But can he notice that there's already 2 flankers incoming, and he's going to roll on forward? He wants to fight Twintism, but he has to watch for his backside just in case that the flank players have finally made it on the other side. But Kodak going to be going around Twintism with a readjustment. He is going to hit the curve player, and the first round will go in the way of Veteran.
That's not what you want to see, right? For Ridaz right now, your IGL going out of the game instantly, but you can't really avoid these kind of circumstances. But with Kodak missing 3, 4, 5 shots, especially including the USP, with Twintizen not really knowing what's happening in that fight, that's kind of a bad start. But nonetheless, they were able to equalize. They got House B control. They were able to kill off players coming out of Z with EV9 falling down with the M4, which is actually one of the guns that you can basically spam while they're pushing outside of Long B. It's still a good start. Good. How do you say this? Good beginning, but the ending was not the best.
Yeah, I mean, Sektet wasn't even involved in that first round, man. I think his hard disk drive was still kind of spinning as he was on the loading screen, and his teammates already screaming their A's off in the comms. So, hopefully he is inside of the server this time for the side of Ridaz. But I feel like with that kind of defense from the side of Veteran, right, we kind of do expect it at this point. The crossfire here from LB and Z, the top A sniper, the mid player. It's kind of the standard at this point for the side of Veteran. And do they even have to deviate from the norm if the strat is even working in the first place? I mean, I wouldn't switch my defense if Riders are just going to run into us time and time again.
Yeah, I feel like we already saw, or at least got the answer to your question before we're in. What is the meta, or what is the playstyle of the Indonesian teams or ROCA teams right now for Riders and Veteran? I think it's a prioritization towards long B control, house B, take that advantage, take a lot of space, but not here on mid mostly. It's mostly towards mid doors and as well as Z. So same kind of positions for these two players, push coming from respawn, get that Z control. But this mid pressure coming from Riders might be a problem here for Veteran.
Yeah, taking a look at the replay. This is a good old crossfire between the Z and the HB players, but no, unfortunately, just like how I said, they did operate on a 4 versus 5 to start things off, so Riders weren't too keen on kind of just rolling on forward into the defense of Veteran. Veteran, meanwhile, once again, just keeping it standard. And I like the priority here for Z, because as soon as you lose Z, that crossfire and LB is now dismantled, so Drones with a good spot here.
Yeah. And you have still cover for Twin playing rear bridge, but Jung actually kills off Reknard as they push one by one. Drones kills off Bang S, and that's what you want coming in from these Z players. Flash inbound, but it's just too close. Flash was a little bit delayed, but they are able to kill off 2 players. Look at Shock from behind, hitting the shots, and now kills off Wong Feng with HK. And this is what we want for Shock, activating early into the rounds. Tech Dead and Kodak looking towards Z, but Shock is very much delayed. Twintizen is just holding, and he's looking at the wall. That's not what you want. Kodak finally kills him off, but Shock, Twin, he finds the headshot just like me. When we play on court, 25 seconds here on the timer. Does have an opportunity, but with Joan with the M14, better gone with the spray. Riders now claims a round, makes it equal as Sektet gets out of the game.
You know, Sektet needs to figure it out, bro. Because
he needs a sec.
They need him, especially here for this port map. But with the Riders getting a very early round here on the BL side, I do not know what Reknart was holding there low-key. I think you might want to go a bit more to the left, my friend, because that is where the off angle is for the LB players. For the Z players as well, I feel like the clear was good for the LB side.
Yeah.
And then Sektet randomly entered Z without informing his teammate that he's entering Z. So I'm trying to see that sandwich play into Z, right? Despite them getting it at the end of the day, I feel like they could play a lot more guarantees in this map. But right as at the end of it, they did get the better timing, they did get the better shots, and Veteran, unfortunately, kind of losing steam in that second round.
And you like to see it as well, right? If they do consider that sandwich play coming from mid and as well as coming out from LB entering house B, they do have a smoke. They use it, I think, on that round wherein they just smoke out house B. You know, the exit coming in from the site, so they can get inside without any repercussions, without Reknard holding down house B, and they can just easily kill off the 2 players here on Z. Because I think after those 2 rounds, they are quite aware that there's 2 players here, EV9 and Drones, trying to help out Twintizen, trying to help out players here on the B side. So yeah, prioritization does matter, but they're getting into the site. That's what's better. All they need to do even more right now is to get those lurkers, especially Shock or players coming in from LA to disseminate, the player count. But they did get around, so Ridaz looking pretty good. It looks like Veteran is still, is still testing the waters or reading the playground.
Yeah, and I would want to see more proactivity from Veteran especially, right? And we have seen that exact proactivity before. I feel like kind of just running back the defense again in the second round. Granted, it could have possibly worked with the timings that was going on in LB. I feel like we need to see more active plays here from Shock, especially maybe one here from Reknar, maybe Twintism can start peeking down towards long. We need to see more aggression from the side of Veteran, because I feel like if you kind of just let Riders, run around the map, run amok, maybe in mid side, maybe going into spawn, I feel like you're giving a bit too much map control if you are on the side of Veteran. So we need to see a bit more fights for even just the bottom of CA. Just a bit more denial in general.
Yeah, they need more map control. They need more aggressiveness. That's all we need, especially for these players on LA, just like what you said here coming from Shock. But I think the game plan here is really activate Twintism. Just try to get a pick off here in mid, and then you have Shock pushing here coming in from LA, because they want that assurance that at least if Shock does push, there's already a player down with the help of Twintism's pick here on bridge. So I guess that's why. Maybe that's a theory. A CROSSFIRE theory nonetheless. Looking, that's why maybe it's kind of prolonged or passive. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing both teams prioritizing House B a lot. If they push out here on mid, get CA, a lot more will be covered, because again, it goes both ways. If Veteran doesn't go for aggressiveness and goes for passiveness here on the long side of A, they can take that out. They can easily get into the side, compared to how you're gonna be fighting angles here in House B.
Yeah, it is actually very similar to some teams on the other side of the globe, right? I think what the approach is for the side of Riders, it's kind of like, instead of mid being the priority, you would rather prioritize LB, and then it's like a step-by-step process, right? You get LB, you get HP control, you get Z control, and maybe you flash someone out from Z with the help of the BR player. Maybe you can get CA in the process as well, right? I feel like instead of just getting mid and splitting from that point, I feel like they want to keep the spacing tight, and they want to really keep the players together, right? You don't want your, maybe on the side of Riders, you don't want your one player to kind of stray too far from the pack, and you really want to keep it as much as possible. So, just like what I said, I feel like that kind of play can definitely be broken down by Veteran, with how Shock was already moving around the map. We saw him on the enemy bridge on the last round. So if we can see more things from that from Shock, and maybe some stuff as well from Reknard, maybe this could be a different story. But of course, the technical timeout is going to be taken a bit. Reknard's PC, he's trying, man.
Yeah, even SecDev. So there's a lot.
Or SecDev's PC, rather.
Yeah, there's a lot of very, very technical issues right now, but don't worry, we'll be coming back into the game. I guess they're really just playing towards that Rosea mindset, that Indonesian type of plays, wherein they just really go for contact plays, not really aggressive. So I guess once they are aware of that surprise factor that is gonna be capable here on for the GR side, might have some faster rounds, because these rounds do play out very, very long, Sneaky. So BL side here for Riders will be having a pretty rough time. But I do like, though, that despite not having SecDev, Riders know how to play up against veterans. Maybe their plays coming in from the qualifiers really paved the road for them to know how to play up against them here, especially on court.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe SecDev was also kind of seeing in the qualifiers, man. So maybe this is kind of just case in point here for the side of Riders, that they kind of just used to playing that 4 versus 5. But jokes aside, though, I feel like Riders, once the tech issues are kind of ironed out, we're gonna have a closer game, definitely, when it comes to port. Now that we know that they kind of can fight in the mid side and now can peek into long, and it's kind of the two teams kind of stretching their legs after an entire season of kind of just let's say unceremonious play coming in from them.
Yeah, you know what? I'm also curious, right? What does this mean for these two teams? What does this mean towards Rosea as a whole? on whoever wins here? Is there some kind of like weight towards these two teams? Is Veteran still the better powerhouse if they win, or is Ridaz actually the new kids in town, or at least some kind of other pressure? What does it really mean for these Rosetta teams?
Well, if there's gonna be Crossfire and Sea Games, we're gonna know who's gonna be repping Indonesia. So that'll be one thing to find out in this in this series. At the same time, it's also kind of a check on how good the Rosea teams have gotten throughout the league. I know they have been doing a lot of losing, but they have been doing a lot of learning as well. That's like what I said. I feel like Veteran definitely can surprise going into the next few seasons, and Riders could be right up there as well, right? And I feel like the vision is very clear for Veteran and Riders. It's just that they're going to have to go through the rough patch first.
Yeah, I'm also pretty curious, right? We talked about this very much before, wherein if this continues on and a lot more teams coming outside of the Philippines or the rest of Southeast Asia come into play, you will definitely see a lot more improvement come into the region, just because this is like weight training for them. It's like a full a full barrage of exercises wherein you are getting buffed up coming in and getting these games up against Filipino powerhouses, up against international talents like STS, VP. It's a lot to take in, but I love how they're accepting these challenges every time, especially for these IGLs. You have Fire is not even playing the game, but that's his mindset right now. Secdet coming out of the game, going in. It's like mind games. I think Secdet learned a lot from Virtus Pro.
For sure. Virtus Pro definitely one of the teams that you could learn the most from, especially when you're just kind of watching their VODs and watching the game up against them, right? I feel like Virtus Pro is kind of using some of their playbook, so I feel like, yeah, I mean, like right now, just like what you said, we have a dead round. That's kind of in the playbook as well, so I feel like, maybe they have picked up a thing or two from the other matches that we did have beforehand. So, yeah, it's also, I also would like to say that as much as the I think everybody's pretty well aware that everybody's definitely underestimating these two teams, but lest I remind everybody in the chat that we were also in this position at one point as an entire region. So there is that time where Philippines wasn't even on the radar for the side of CROSSFIRE. And if I can remember the entirety of those past few years, yes, it was a big struggle. Yes, there was a big drought of trophies to come from to our region. So I feel like it is there. It will be bound that this Rosea in general is gonna have one team that it probably is gonna be leading the charge and probably start beating some of these Filipino teams, because I'm just saying, man, the road to improvement, especially for CFS Masters and just Masters in general, I feel like the road to improvement is very, very quick. So, Veteran and Riders, they could look very different in the next split or even next year.
Yeah, plus this is what you said before, right? I think these rotate teams like Veteran and Riders, and even for the upcoming teams as well, the very region that you can basically exercise your skill set is the Philippines, because you have a mix of both worlds. You have a mix of both regions, like China, like EU, or like everywhere. You can definitely find it here. But what you can find is a little bit of a break coming in from us and coming in from me and Sneaky Frog. So after this short break, we'll be coming back for our game here on Port. It's Veteran and Riders, by the way. So we'll be back after this short break.
Di ko lang kung naispatan siya ni KLP doon. Mukhang oo, nakita mo sa flick of the wrist na mabutuhan na.
Be careful, pag he gets the shot, and
Uy,
he's in trouble.
grabe!
Receiving play pa. Tuguan na nga ngayon si Cetra. Elvin nakabantay. He's gonna get one. And also two huge.
Namaya, pero wait lang, hindi pa rin tapos yun. Lahat ng action, masusundan pa. We are gonna be seeing prevalence race here dito sa house.
Ano doon, no? Flash grenade from PSA! Kitang-kita niya sa KLP!
And we're back, coming in here at the CFS Masters Spring 2026. And if you're just tuning in, we are here witnessing greatness of veteran as well as Riders outside of a technical timeout after 2 rounds. It is a 1-1 scoreline for both of these teams. We are on port, and Sneaky Frog, it looks like there's still a lot to talk about here for these two teams, especially that the Rosea teams are still in full power and that they're still in development, but in Masters, they've been getting a lot. Now, here on port, I believe we're going back into the game just a little bit, but yeah, veteran and Riders, right? Everybody, veteran and Riders.
Yeah, they clap it up for them, right? I mean, feel like we've kind of beat Port to a dead horse at this point, right? So let's
Yeah.
kind of move on to Eagle Eye 2.0, right? When
Okay.
was the last time that Riders played Eagle Eye? I can't really remember.
I only remember
Uh,
veteran. Yeah.
Yeah, I only remember Veteran. And I think that was the one time that one of the players actually pulled out the Vepr, right? And we were all kind of excited to see it, and then it didn't work, unfortunately. So, yeah, I feel like that maybe that slight experience here for Veteran going into Eagle Eye 2.0 could be a very big help. And especially knowing that Veteran kind of went up against the Cebuano teams as well, who kind of have a knack when it comes to Eagle Eye 2.0, man. We gotta say, I feel like the Cebu has kind of the handle of Subbase and now Eagle Eye as well. I wonder what the next map is gonna be for them, right? But I feel like if Veteran can kind of replicate what they saw for the past few times that they did see this Eagle Eye 2.0, that aggression on towards bridge and that aggression towards mid, maybe Riders could just drown in Eagle Eye.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at Eagle Eye to a point where veteran, that is their like mainstay, where they really got pushed to their limits, pushed towards what they need to do. We saw highlight plays from Twintism, Shock, from even for Flyers when he was still playing for this team. He is in substitution right now for the recent matches. But yeah, I would also like to see, right, how they play a new compound. New compound really does drive a lot from strategies, and if they play it to a point that they have set strategies to actually push towards the side coming from the combat. Something else would be pretty nice for these two teams. But yeah, Eagle Eye. I actually believe there was a time that Riders played this. Was it up against Acceleration?
I think it was
It
New
was
Compound, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually confused about that. You do have a point, Porter. I did forget about the new compound, right? For Riders, I think they actually did kind of well in that map, but they were the ones who actually banned it. So I feel like they were kind of scared of Veteran in the new compound map. But I would have wanted to see that, in all honesty, right? I feel like the more closed space, the more cover in the map, it's a lot more individual fights. I feel like we could have seen maybe a more equal fight between the two teams. And one of the biggest tragedies in this series, Bipolar, is the banning of Black Widow from the side of Riders here, of course, being their second round ban right before Subbase. Honestly, would have been sick to see both of these teams just play on the most popular map in the game.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, right, these two maps that we just talked about, Black Widow, New Compound, it's execute heavy, and to see how they unfold in these kinds of maps would be pretty nice to see. Plus, they play it, they know it pretty well, just because, just like what you've said, they play a lot of ranks. I believe RMs come into their region, or at least here on the server. So if it was those two maps, would have been pretty nice to see. But we are going to be playing Eagle Eye then towards Subbase. It's pretty peculiar, right, that they went for that as a decider, especially for veteran, because they know how to play it well. Riders did pick this, I think, once or twice. They were very much unaware that teams here in the Philippines know how to play it to a point where it is an international level kind of Subbase. But I guess they just want to go for like comfort, shocking plays, shocking picks here on port, and as well as Eagle Eye, or basically just comfort picks nonetheless. The Civil War continues in just a little bit for these two teams. If you were to pick a side, this is a big stretch towards what could possibly be a banger of a series, right? Who would you pick here in the entirety of, if you know what?
Rosé.
Yeah.
There's only 4 teams.
Yeah,
There's
I'll
only
just
4
pick
teams.
Rosé, yes, yeah, I'll just pick Rosé.
I would be picking. I actually do like Veteran. There's another team that actually took Veteran to 3 games. I forgot their name. They were in the qualifier, if I'm not mistaken. I think their name was, there we go, Amunra. I would have wanted Amunra to actually, maybe get a bit of action as well in this one. Public Stars, not so sure what's going on with them. They kind of just sneaked you twice and bounced out. So, yeah, I would have wanted to see Amunra maybe in this one, especially knowing that they were one of the few teams that actually took the veteran squad all the way up to 3 maps. I mean, they went 13-11 coincidentally on port, and they got the win on Black Widow, and they got the win on sub base. So Amunra, if you're watching right now, we are looking forward to your presence being known here on the side of the Seamasters Spring. You just have to beat Ridaz the second time around, as they did lose them 10-6 on Black Widow. I feel like if that map was a bit different, man, we would have possibly had a different team going into this one. But yeah, I would say overall for Rosea, I think the no-brainer answer here is for veteran, right? I feel like they kind of learned the fastest, adapted the fastest, and I feel like their approach to CROSSFIRE, granted, hasn't been working, but it has been very fruitful for them in terms of learning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also just curious where Fires is right now. There was a lot of interviews.
Where is he, bro?
Before we head on to just having MVP interviews, where last time we talked to them was a lot of prioritizations, right? Especially with EV9 and Kodak when they represented their teams, prioritizations always matter. Maybe Kodak or Fires is in the jungle making his own fire, instilling something, hugging a tree maybe. I don't know.
He's on his journey, man. he's on his maybe he is on his sabbatical. I'm not so sure, man. I feel like you do need a bit of a break from the game from time to time, and I feel like that this is one of those times for Fires, and I feel like he's definitely done his fair share of fragging for his team. I feel like he was kind of carrying the the fragging department. Yeah, the entirety of Rosea. Let's be real, but. Fires will be a very interesting prospect going into next year, because I feel like he is the closest player to the entire region of having almost equal level to some of the Filipino players as well. So I don't know. Fires might have a funny idea. He just might fly.
Import?
Do you want to go to Manila Fires? This is the offer, but I'm not so sure which team is gonna pick you up. But Fires, big potential, man.
And plus, he's still outside from coming into his peak, right? I feel like Fires is capable, especially if he just knows how to play the HK, because he's really backing on that AK for some reason. I guess it's just familiarity. I would like that. This is actually a pretty good question, right? If you are a veteran in Ridaz, what do you compare them to a team here in the Philippines? Like
veteran in Ridaz?
Yeah, like what's their equal of a team?
I don't want to be mean. Whoever said that, that disembodied voice with the wrong opinion, with the wrongest opinion.
Very, very wrong.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I will not say it. But
that is
very, very
far
wrong.
from it. I feel like they're equal right now in terms of level. I would say the Phil squad, or maybe the LSK level at around that, I think. But I feel like LSK is slightly better even. So I feel like PS is definitely the benchmark. I think I actually had a conversation about this with one of the coaches from the top 2 teams. I'm not gonna reveal who, but he did have the thought of saying, what if we did expose the Indonesian teams to the Impact teams first? Will they have a faster learning process? I feel like this is a good learning process enough, right? You're kind of just straight to the wolves and getting bit as much as possible. Of course, you're going to be learning a lot more compared to if you are playing with someone who is on equal level. So I feel like a lot more is absorbed here for the side of veteran, but I would have wanted to see these 2 teams kind of duke it out in Impact, because I feel like they can definitely hang around for sure.
That's a good point, right? I mean, if we are just comparing them to teams, they're very much Impact worthy. Plus, their playstyle plays well. In Impact, you have teams that are too fast to comprehend.
They're doing everything in Impact at this point.
Yeah, everything can happen there. Plus, even here on the caster and panel desk, we are always just bombarded with like fast rounds, 20-second rounds, which always happens for veteran riders. Even for the qualifying teams, they always do that as well, to a point that there's no planting of the bomb anymore. So yeah, impact would be pretty nice, right? For these Rosea teams, just as you know, to reach that benchmark and to overthrow it, to finally be ready for these master teams that are very much a caliber of their own. But yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
I didn't
Also,
even
it's to
realize
encourage the Impact teams to scrim the Rosea teams, guys. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, please scrim the Rosea teams. I mean, you guys will learn things that you had no idea about your about your local play as well. So it's a win-win situation here for either side, in my opinion. So yeah, it seems like the break is taking a while, and it seems like Sectet is still trying to crank that PC back to life, and hopefully we do see him back in the server once again. But yeah, I want to raise this question as well, since we're getting bombarded with questions at this point, right?
Yeah.
What do you expect for Rosea going into the summer? So what's the expectations? Is it going to be an improvement? Are they going to get worse? What's the ballpark here?
I feel like there's not really a situation that they'll get worse, just because they're already at the bottom of the barrel, that they can only go on top of these teams. Plus, you can see there's a rapid movements anyways, right? Especially for veteran, if they just disseminate these like strategies wherein they can finally fight all throughout. There was a time that we were talking about veteran and even riders. There might be a time, or there might be a chance wherein they extend that 5-point round into 7, right? Or maybe even 8, maybe even 9 for an overtime. There's a possibility of that. So for that to happen quite early on here for Rosea, their introduction towards Masters here in the Philippines, that's already an improvement nonetheless. Because what if they finally opened their eyes? What if Shock took out his glasses while playing, right? there could have been something of a turnaround that we are looking at. But yeah, enough about questions, Sneaky. And enough about, things like that. But yeah, sub-base. How about sub-base? Never mind. Okay, we're going to
Sub-base?
port.
I don't want to talk about sub-base, bro. We're talking about port.
Yeah, we're talking about port
Map
because
number 1, bro. We are so back. Holy.
finally. Let's go right into the game, Sneaky. And
We did
guess
some
what?
necromancy, bro. The
Set
dead
that
round
is
is not
here.
alive. Oh, yeah. Is he here? Is he? Pulse check?
He is.
Check his pulse folder.
91 BPM.
Damn. It's a bit too fast. Need some deep breaths. Maybe his mouse might be shaking. Oh!
Too much caffeine.
Is someone moonwalking on bridge? Don't tell me.
Look at that.
Please tell me he's not moonwalking on bridge. No!
Oh. Oh no. Darn it. Just gotta be a
Darn it. Ah, sucks.
Ragnar. Oh, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Shock. You don't have a sniper there, buddy. Get out of that situation, drone. Ooh. Activating left, right, and center. 3 players left coming in towards veteran. Sec that out of the game once again. But this just leaves 2 players here for Ridaz to possibly go for an A push. And there you go. Wong Feng leading the charge. Kodak with a sniper. But there's 3 players here on BR. This is gonna be a tough fight.
Yeah, good synergy here from the side of veteran. Just like us saying ooh at the same time earlier. But Kodak, sniper in hand, Twintism also has one. Doesn't hit the crossing Kodak, so he is gonna make it in towards ladder and onto top A. And is this gonna be them preventing the plant from going down? Drone's already on the
Drones.
backside, but no one is looking at long A whatsoever. But Drone's up down! He drops down, but no information. They could not hear him.
Oh no.
What's going on?
I mean, it's 45 seconds. Wong Feng's still looking for an advantage here. They want to kill. And Wong Feng found out. Drones! What a shot! Coming here for LA. Kodak found out. Twintism pushing. No more CRG's pistols all around. The USP kills him off, and that's 2 rounds for a veteran. And guess what, Sneaky? Look at Port. What a beautiful map.
Wow, the drone shot and the dead
The
round.
dead
Oh my
round.
god.
Bang! What a trifecta, Sneaky. What a if checklist Crossfire is get a pick, execute and get a site, then plant the bomb. This is our checklist right now. Sec det, out of the game, check. Dead round, check. Drone shot, check.
Whoa.
And VP is back.
They transformed. This is Ridaz' final form. They have been hiding this the entire tournament.
The wolf became the
And it
bears.
seems like the evolution. Darwin, you don't know what you're saying. But, veteran,
the evolution of Ridaz.
alright, we're getting a bit too wild on the broadcast. Dead round once again for round number 4. Ridaz turned back into wolves, and it seems like round's dead. What can we say about it, man? I feel like veteran in that last round at the very least. I feel like they kind of expect more of the pour here from the side of Ridaz on the LB and the mid side. So instead of just kind of holding it, I feel like they're just waiting for the timing and just swinging the corner. So definitely a creative solution, and and can catch Ridaz off guard. And also that kind of strat is repeatable as well, because you don't know when the person's gonna pop out of the corner.
Yeah, definitely so. But it's still peculiar, right? It's only been a few maps, so you still don't know the scope of these two teams and what they're capable of up against each other. We did see some qualifiers, but it's really not that surprising that these two teams have qualified. So Port will definitely be a contention wherein what can you offer? What can Sectet offer? What can drones give? Because that was very peculiar, right? To not plant the bomb, they were looking to get a kill without any players from veteran pushing. Even drones had a chance to actually push earlier, with killing off Kodak early as well when he was peeking outside towards exit. But yeah, there was just a lot of times wherein something could have happened, especially for Ridaz. Maybe there's some possibilities that they could have just went house B in that situation wherein nobody was there, but they really tried to just push on forward. But yeah, speaking, evolution for these two teams is quite long, since we are here on round number 4, still waiting for these players to actually move in the map.
Yeah, and move in the server as well. And hopefully, there will not be a guy moonwalking on bridge this time. And and actually get to connect. It is not their fault, of course. We are not blaming the teams for this one. Just like in the Philippines, Indonesia is also known for their... Let me pick an adjective here. Bad internet. So I feel like it's definitely a feeling that is shared in between the C bros of saying, hey, our internet sucks, we can't connect to the game. It is what it is. We can't do anything about it, right? I mean, hopefully Sectet's internet cooperates this time. But man, I cannot believe that this is the bond that we share with our C bros. The bond of bad internet.
Yes, the bond of the long connections. There might be even a convergence, a
sky to look at.
A sky to look at. A PL, PL debt.
Personal
Wow,
life.
PL debt. Sec
PL
debt might
debt?
be using PL debt.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Let's zoom out, man. Maybe it might be even the globe.
Yeah. I was
Might
about
not
to
be
say. Ah, you took the line. Ah, you caught it. The
You took the
universe
line.
might be there, right? Yeah, there's a lot of globes there. You never know.
Yeah. And of course, to top it all off, the ping stays red here for
Yes.
the boys over at Ridaz. But according to my limited knowledge, aka just hovering over the cams here of the players, there is still a bit of a struggle here for Sectet to get into the server. So, hopefully he fixes it. I don't know how he's gonna fix it, but I wonder if that's a thing as well. Actually, I do want to ask the Indonesian bros in the comment section, because when someone DCs in the Philippines, or at least when someone DCs on one of the players, right? We also have the option of just hop skipping and jumping to the computer shop, or the
do they
what's
have
the
one?
term here? What's the term? The English
Cafes.
term here
Internet
is cafes. Internet cafes, or in Korea, the PC bong. If you want to be a bit schematic here, but I feel like maybe maybe it is time for Sekdet to kind of do a little
Jump.
bit of a trip with his peripherals, man, and try and see if he can make it to the closest internet cafe. Hopefully, with the best monitors and the best setup, because I feel like you can run this game on a toaster at this point.
You know what, Sneaky? I believe there is one. It's called Darkness. There. You know why? It's the it's called Darkness. I feel like There's also one internet cafe.
I feel like I know who
there.
owns that.
The Phoenix as well, if you know that.
Mm-hmm.
The Phoenix is there as well. ABC, there's some things there. Might be even, it might be noodles there as well, served with iced tea. What a life there.
Wait. Imagine, right? Imagine instead of pancit canton, you get served.
I'll look up. Yeah.
Is it the right term? You get served. Am I right about this? Is mee goreng from then, or is it?
I am checking. Yeah, that's what I'm
thing?
checking. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
It's
there we
mee
go.
goreng.
Like a oh my god, like my goodness, a plate of mee goreng while you're playing, bro.
Yeah.
That's life.
You know what, Sneaky? They can easily get a mee goreng right now because guess what? We'll be going for a little bit of a break here. You have ample amount of time to buy it in your groceries and get back, look it up, look at the back of the package and cook yourself one because we'll be back after this short break. Sneaky Frog and Bipolar for the Sea Masters Spring 2026. Ridaz and Veteran continues after this. Hello, everybody. We're back! It's Bipolar and Sneaky Frog on the desk, but nonetheless, everybody, there is some kind of issue right now, especially for the side of Ridaz. But nonetheless, we did come back after what seemed to be a 2-1 scoreline, round number 4 here on court. Just a little bit of backstory to you guys. We came and we conquered and we saw. But we shall come back, just like what Arthur said. So the Indonesian teams or the rest of Southeast Asia will be, playing the game still. We'll be going back for even more action here on CROSSFIRE. But no more questions asked. The news is a little bit of technical issue, and we'll be fixing everything that we can, especially for Sekdet's side. But nonetheless, everybody, I think it's okay to actually go get your mee gorengs, go get your pancit cantons, go get your C2s, go get your everything, because we will be back after this. My name is Bipolar together with Sneaky Frog. This is the CROSSFIRE Sea Masters Spring 2026. Just a little bit of us, but a little bit more of the time. See you again. At ayun na nga, welcome back to CROSSFIRE Store Sea Masters Spring 2026. My name is Bipolar together with Sneaky Frog. It's time for STS and as well as execution. Not yet. We're still not there. We're still here at Veteran versus Ridaz on their first map, 1-2 scoreline, with I believe Veteran garnering those 2 points after what seemed to be a very, very dominating round after them pulling the plug of the PC of Sekdet multiple times. But nonetheless, we are coming back to the game. We are here on court. Sneaky Frog, what is there else to say? It's been pretty nice, right? We've beaten them to a pulp. We've beaten the maps to a pulp. I would like to ask you this while we're waiting for these players to connect, right? What is your go-to lineup for international titles outside of the Philippines? Or you can include one. What's your dream team?
International talents.
Dream team, yeah. Dream
I
team.
was thinking casters, but players, dream team.
Yeah.
So you clone N9 like 4 times, and then you put ZQ as the IGL, and I think I'm pretty good with that team.
I see.
We don't need no snipers, man. We can just go in.
Yeah. How about this though? 5 Silvas, pretty nice, right? Thoughts? Or 2 Silvas, 3 Juan-Juans. Oh, that would be so nice.
Barely any riflers on that team, man.
Yes, but think
could
about
work.
it, right? Pretty good. Pretty good.
It could work, honestly. I mean, Juan is, I would argue, despite everything that we're seeing right now on the CFPL league, I think Juan is definitely the best sniper in the region.
Yes.
That's my hot take for the week. That I think Juan easily best sniper of the region, probably the fastest sniper of the region, right? And I am looking forward to hopefully seeing him internationally, man, because I feel like he's such a left field talent, very underrated talent, man. I feel like if you weren't watching Iceland games back in the day, just like how I did, you really wouldn't know about the existence of Juan Juan, right? But I feel like if you have a player like Juan Juan and you cloned him 3 times, that's basically 3 free picks.
Yeah, every time, right? That's why I pick him for my dream team. But much about them later on. It's all about veteran Ridaz at the end of the day. Dream team for Ridaz and veteran, 5 fires. And no, 4 fires, 1 shock. So I'm included every time. Maybe that's my dream team. For that's so egotistical, man. You know what? I should shut the hell up. Sneaky Frog, why not? Let's talk about these 2 teams even more, right? I mean, if you guys aren't aware, the map pool or the map veto for these 2 teams is Port Eagle Eye 2.0 and then Subbase. Subbase was pretty peculiar that it went into the decider just because, you know, it's been one hell of a map for veteran. Then we have Black Widow for Ridaz, which they inevitably banned out, or at least didn't go for that pick in the first 2 picks, right? So more on that later. Sneaky Frog, what else have you been doing for the past few months?
Not gonna lie, I just went to eat, and I VOD reviewed yesterday's games. Because not gonna lie, yesterday's games were pretty good, and I would, you know, bit of a brag here,
What?
Boulder. I think we
What?
casted really good yesterday, despite
Really?
what happened in Eagle Eye.
Yeah,
But I feel
that
like
one round,
that one round didn't count. Forget it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like the entire cast that we did do was actually pretty good, and the games were actually really good as well, despite it being 2-0s and 2-0s. So yeah, just appreciating talents on either side of the server and even outside, man.
Ooh, actually, you know what? Can I have what if? This is my keyword for you. This is your time to take away your earphones. What if, guys? Outside of the players, here on the talent desk, we're also improving. We're coming for you, international talents. We're coming for you. Mochi, take away your Chinese talents, but Mochi is all you need. Sneaky Frog.
Are you selling? We're selling.
I'm selling.
We're selling the talents on live.
We're
Oh
selling-
my goodness me! I feel like we've gotten to such a deep point in the dead round that we are now in the depths here. Boulder.
Yes.
We are in the depths at this point, and we can't really blame us, right? I feel like these teams, they're definitely trying to figure out whatever they're trying to figure out behind the scenes, but yeah, we're just here to try and see if we can get this started early. But I feel like this might be taking a bit, you know.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of shipments in port that the parcel for SecDet's computer has still not yet reached to him. It has been delayed, so he got a coupon, 50% off for his next delivery. Might be something
Type stuff.
like that. But, type stuff. I almost said the word they should be saying. Don't tempt me, Sneaky. I am in the break.
Check
of
the news.
extinction here.
Headlines.
Yeah,
Headlines.
headlines.
There's a
Okay,
headline.
everybody, it's time to actually look at our, currently right now here on the Philippines. I don't know what's happening here there on Rosera. Right? The current weather report, Sneaky Frog. If you are aware, here on Mandaluyong City, 36 degrees Celsius, and it is currently 5:57. It's cloudy, but very, very sunny. Later on, there's no gonna be rains. Tomorrow, there is gonna be a sunrise on 5:33 a.m., but there seems to be no actual rainfall. Even though
No
we're close
actual
to June,
rainfall,
July.
brother. But here is some breaking news for
What is it?
this one, brother. It seems like Veteran will be the ones winning this series. Unfortunately, it is a match forfeit for the side of Ridaz. Yeah, I mean, boys, on the side of Ridaz, right, we completely understand because, just like what we said, brothers in bad internet and brothers in technical issues as well. So, we were excited for the series, of course, being the Rosea versus Rosea matchup that we've been waiting for the past 4 weeks, but it seems like we're gonna have to wait a little bit more before we do see a matchup like this.
Very much so. You know what, Sneaky? This is really the pinnacle of what happens when you compare Ridaz Veteran towards STS and VP. Nonetheless, what a series, everybody! 3 rounds, that's all it takes for the players coming in for Veteran to actually take out Ridaz in a fashion that you could not really comprehend. It's time for us to actually get ready for the matchup of the season. Execration versus Stallions. I feel like this is gonna be a spicy and very, very hot take that Execration will probably give up a lot of rounds towards Stallions. Pero Sneaky Frog at may Polar nga pala. Oras na para magtagalog. Cebu versus Cavite. After this, mamaya na kami magbabalik ang Crossfire Stars Sea Master Spring after this short break.